Welcome to the Alumni Talk, where we will talk about study and professional journey of our alumna. Roshni, hello. Welcome
Hi.
to our studio.
Hi, Daniel. Thank you so much for the invitation. It is really a proud moment for me to come back to my university and share some lessons that I've learned through the journey.
That's nice to hear. So, how did it come that you study in Germany and especially at BTU, and how were your experience here?
Okay. So, just for a quick background from my side, I studied bachelor's in civil engineering from India. I worked 2 years in the field of construction, and then it came to me that I'm not very happy with my work conditions or my work environment, and that led me to change my situation. There were options that I could go for higher education or I could look for another job. And through the guidance of my families and friends, it was always the best option to pursue a higher education. And then I started researching where could I get good quality of education and where my interest lies. And then I landed up researching about Germany. And the most fascinating fact was that Germany provides tuition-free education. And I was so impressed by this opportunity and this possibility because Germany is one of the strongest economies and still it is able to provide free education not only to its own people but also to the people from all around the world. And it felt so welcoming. Although finances were not a big problem for me, but still the factor that the quality of education here is really good and it's free of cost. Why not? So then I started, researching about the institutes, the universities, what kind of courses they provide, what do I have to prepare myself for in order to get an admission to a German university. And then slowly and steadily it came to the point that I decided that I would go into BTU. My first admission was to study Masters in Civil Engineering, which is a German taught program. So it was already in my mind that even though I was in India working and applying for universities, learning the language was a must, I already understood that if I'm going to a completely new country with a completely different culture, I should definitely be able to communicate. So I started learning a little bit of German from India, and then I took admission in master's program. But for that, to study masters in civil engineering, it was a prerequisite that I have to complete my full German language course. And BTU offered me 1 year of additional German language course that is called Bridge to Studies. And for that, I had already completed B1 in India and got admission into that course. And the whole situation after coming to Germany switched 180 degrees because I came here in 2019 October and 2020 January was the lockdown, the first lockdown. So my all language classes completely turned online. It was not that big of a challenge, but yeah, a little bit challenging because I come from a very populous country that is full with people around. And I was then in Senftenberg suddenly, where there are nobody here or there, and the city shuts down after 6 p.m. It was a big shock for me. But yeah, I had made up my mind that I have to complete my course. I completed the language course in the first year. But I sort of lost the confidence to actually communicate in German. I passed the exam, I got C1 certification, but the whole year I was just talking to a screen, it was online. And then suddenly in myself, I lost this confidence that might be possible that I will not be able to pursue a master's degree in German taught program. Then I started looking again for opportunities. What could I do? Maybe I could apply to different universities, or is it possible within BTU to change my course? And BTU, again, being so supportive, offered me again another master's course that is offered in English, that is Environmental and Resource Management. And I spontaneously found my interest into the whole course. I went through the course details, and the switch from civil to environment was so easy. The process, everything made by BTU was so easy that everything just happened in a month, and I got enrolled into environmental and resource management in 2020. So this is like a big journey said into small sentences possible. And that's how I came to BTU and Germany.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
How long did your degree program take, and were there any specific challenges during the time?
I think challenges are normal, hurdles that come in between your process and your way of progress. So I would say I started the ERM course in 2020, finished in 24 summer. So it took me 3.5 years. The reason why it took longer than normal was the second wave of Corona. It came again in 2021. I had to go back to my country for 5.5 months because my father was not well. So it took me additional 1 year to cope up with all the discrepancies that happened because of Corona. And all the classes were suddenly online, the experience of actually interacting with the professors and, seeing the university culture sort of cut out for me in 2020 and 21. So I completed my semester credits in the 3 defined semesters. I got 90 credits, but I was still, unsure that what should be done now because I needed the practical experience. And then I joined another company as a working student, a renewable energy company that gave me my first chance to learn and to understand things about renewable energy sector. And that sort of caught my interest, to pursue it as a career then, because ERM is a really diverse course. It contains sciences, it contains environmental law, it contains management, it contains engineering. So to choose one field out of all these various options, that was for me a challenge. And then once slowly and steadily I got into the sector and then I understood the things, it became easier for me. So I would say challenges in terms of situations like Corona. I think that was for everyone, for me as well. And challenges in terms of finding my own interest, because I think I have said it out loud previously as well, the German education system is built in such a way that it promotes you to find your own interests, because you have big choices, a lot of choices, and you have time to, calm your mind and focus on what really impresses you or interests you. And then with time, I realized that my interests lie in the renewable energy sector, and then I slowly and steadily started working in this field. And after my master's course, I got into the first full-time job.
So did your professional life before the study program here influence or help you for your job search after the graduation? And how important is like the practical stuff that you already talked about a little bit?
Yeah, I think it is very important. It's like a ladder. You have to climb each step. You cannot skip the steps in between and reach the top just suddenly, So I would say it is very important to find, even in the university, a heavy job, or in any company, a working student job, because that gives you the first experience to actually work full-time in the German industry. And also, you make connections, you make friends in the industry, and then you talk about the interests of yours, whether in the professional sector or in the personal sector. I mean, that's how it grows, Maybe I could give you one example. So the time when I told you that I was in India and I was in the 3rd semester, enrolled in BTU in the environmental course, but because of Corona I had left for my home country. So that time, the exams and all were online. And we had a subject where there was a presentation to be given, and that was it. Like, you give the presentation and that's the final exam. So the subject was not something that interested me a lot, or even, that was something that I had a previous background in the subject. But still, it was in me that I used to present everything so, enthusiastically that I might have influenced the professor probably. So I was in India giving my presentation for my final exam, and from the other side, the professor suddenly said, "Would you like to work for me as a Hiwi student?" By the time, I really didn't know that this kind of an opportunity existed, because I was in my third semester going through situations, going back to the country, coming back, and then studying online, everything. So I was not aware that this kind of an opportunity actually existed, that you could work for the professor. So I told the professor I would really be happy to, but I really don't have any background in the subject. I've studied civil engineering and I'm studying environment, and this is just an additional subject I took just to pass my credit, And then he said, no, I really liked the way you presented your and the whole presentation and the exam, and every question was actually correctly answered, and I was also shocked, and that made me think that, okay, this is probably the first lesson, because even though I was not interested in the subject, even though the professor was not really, paying attention, but still I got an opportunity, just because I presented something well and better than the others probably. For professors, it's really difficult because they have so many applications, so many requests from the students to take them under their guidance and give a Hiwi job, even though students who actually had information and knowledge about the subject didn't get that opportunity, and I got it. So, it's a matter of chance, and you have to be prepared from your side that you give your best. And even the professor said it to me, it never happened that I, from my side, asked someone to work for me, because I have so many applications, I have so many emails pending to reply. And for professors, it's like they see presentations, hundreds of presentations every day. It's like they get bored out of it. So, you try to make an impression, even though you are not fully into the subject. And that was my first career breakout in BTU as a student. Then that led me to explore more Hiwi opportunities, and I got into the hydrogen department. 3 years back, the hydrogen was not like a hyped topic, but it was coming into the industry and people were talking about hydrogen. So I got another Hiwi opportunity in this sector, and because of my work in the hydrogen sector, I got the opportunity to work as a working student in the company. So one thing led to the other, I would say. It was not something like I directly got the job and I had no prior experience, but it was with time and with, trying to research more about opportunities, it led to that I got my final job. And so the working student job I got because I had a little bit experience of Hiwi in hydrogen, and the trainee job that I have right now I got because I worked in the renewable energy sector as a working student. So I would say, as I said before, it's a step-by-step process. You cannot climb up the ladder directly and reach the top. It would go one step at a time. And it's better you take it that way, slow and steady, and you understand things, and that's how it works. So for me, I would say yes, each and every job I did, even though a small Hiwi job or a working student job, actually helped me get the full-time job. And the next step from here is also dependent on the 1.5 years of experience that I have gained now. Because the next step would lead me to another company, also based in the renewable energy sector. But yeah, they definitely check how much prior experience do you have, how many skills have you developed over time. So yeah, I would say step by step.
Mm-hmm. how important was your German language skills for the job search?
I would say if you live in Germany, very important. To be honest, as I said before, I already started preparing myself to come to the country. So I studied the language already in India, half of it, and half I got the opportunity to study in Germany in BTU. So I would say it is really important, no matter in whichever program you are enrolled in computer science, in IT, in data science, where everything works only in English, still it is really important to know the language, because it's not just the career that you make in Germany. You make friends, you make family, you make your whole life here if you want to. So just for the job search, if I have to answer, my whole application was based only and accepted only because it was in German, to be honest. So I would say 100% very important.
And did the company in any way help you during the entrance to your job? Or is there something you would have wished from the company to help you to go from university to the first job there?
During my first student job, the company was really supportive. I knew the whole language. Still, they were ready to offer me language courses as well for free. And they're always, what do you call it? I just know the German word, Weiterbildungsmöglichkeiten.
So further education.
Further education or obtaining new skills or learning new tools. The companies definitely support you and offer different opportunities from their portal and from their portfolio. And even the employees and your co-workers, they help you a lot to adjust into the environment, because they definitely know that we completely come from a different culture and we have a completely different background. So I would say my experience was really beautiful and really healthy and happy with the colleagues. So yeah, the company definitely helps you gain more skills, whether it's language skills or any other co-curricular skills. So I would say, yeah.
And can you please talk a little bit about the specific application process for your current job? How was it?
I was very active on LinkedIn, although there are different profiles, different platforms where you can search jobs, for example, Xing, or for example, Stepstone. But I was mostly active always on LinkedIn. And also the working student job I got actually from the BTU job exchange fair that we have yearly in BTU. So there the companies come, they put up their stand, their info sessions, and we have a chance to talk to them, explain them our interests, and if they are happy and if they want, and if they're looking for someone similar, they would really take up your CV and forward it to the department. So I would say make connections, go to job fairs, go to any kind of job day the city offers or even BTU offers. Be active on platforms like LinkedIn or Xing or Stepstone and many others, I would say. And even if you have a specific company in your mind, just visit the website and you can find a job. Or even if you do not have, or even if you do not find a particular job that fits you, there is always an option of applying on your own. That is called Initiative-Bewerbung, which means even though you do not fit to any of the open jobs, you can still send us your application and we'll see where you fit better. So a lot of opportunities, I would say.
And how was the process for your visa and work permit in Germany? And when did you start to concern about it at the end of your studies? How much time students have to be considered for that?
I think to study, the visa process is quite straightforward, I would say. It's well defined on the websites, even on the country websites or also on the university websites. How would you be able to apply? So everything is well written, all the requirements are well stated in the websites. And if I have to talk about after my master's, finishing my master's, so during my master's I had a student visa status. And after that, you have opportunity, if you have a job, to go to job visa. Otherwise, there is an option if you fulfill certain requirements to obtain a blue card in Germany. And that's how it worked for me. So if I fulfill a certain level of requirements, I could get a higher visa status, that is a blue card. And it keeps on upgrading to the level you want to. So yeah, the visa process, one thing I would say is I'm really happy about it, that everything in Germany is well regulated, I would say. Anybody can go to the website, see the requirements, and actually, fulfill the requirements in the time, and you are clear, you are good to go. And just before, I would say 2 to 3 months before your study is about to end officially, you should start collecting all the documents and preparing all the file documents and check all the regulations, because it keeps on updating these days. So I would say before your study ends, you should be prepared, at least, you should start preparing 2 to 3 months before for your visa.
So after your studies, you stayed in this region, found a job here.
Yeah.
How did it come? What do you like particular about this region here?
When I came to Germany, I first came in Senftenberg to complete my language course. And most of the time it was everything online, so I had to stay home. So I came to Cottbus in 2021 for my master's degree. And that time it was a whole new world for me. I made my first friends. I met a lot of people here. I met my professors actually, physically rather than just on the screen. And I would say I have seen my success here. I've seen my struggles here. That's why this city is one of the factor. One of the factor is an emotional factor, I would say. And the other thing, I love this concept of Boomtown Cottbus. It's a known fact everywhere that the west and the south of Germany is fully packed, fully overburdened, I would say. There's no place to step in. And now it's the chance for the east to develop. And the city is taking huge efforts to make this possible. And that's why this concept of Boomtown Cottbus is just one of the best I have ever seen in 5 years I've lived in Germany. And it's my belief that if you work together with a region that is developing itself, you yourself have a chance to develop, and set your foot where everything is just starting. So it builds sort of a confidence, it builds, an enthusiasm to develop along with the region. And that's why maybe the reason I really liked to work here and stay here. And even the living conditions here are quite peaceful, I would say, as compared to the other big cities. So yeah, these are the reasons I chose to be in Cottbus.
That's really nice to hear. Really good. And is there something you miss from your student days? Now that you're in a professional working
Oh my God,
life?
That question, it would make me emotional again. Definitely. I mean, student life it never comes back once it's gone. I mean, there is a chance if you go for higher studies, but probably your age will affect, But I would say there are a lot of things that I miss about this campus, about being a student here, about, we were participating in so many activities, so many events and cultural festivals. To see a whole colorful environment in Cottbus, especially in BTU, it was so beautiful, because otherwise I wouldn't have been able to experience so many cultures together if I were not a student in BTU. Maybe if I just directly came here to work, this wouldn't be an opportunity for me. So I would say, because I was a student and there are so many cultural students here, you get a chance to know a wider world. And you see and experience different cultures. You learn new things. You make best friends. You see your happiness. You see your struggles, and that's how maybe you grow with the city. So I would say, as a student, I miss hanging out with my student friends, just being, you know, no worries about tomorrow, because that's how the student life is, and, you know, just enjoying the life. So I really miss being a student, especially at this university. I'm really happy.
So thank you for the alumni talk.
Thank you so
I
much.
hope your answers can help our visitors in their own path and journey and maybe follow your footsteps.
Thank you so much. Thank you again for the invitation.